Okay, so we've arrived to the property. This is more of a unique property, like acre plus, so they don't have a curb necessarily, but I'm parking in front of the house. You park, you're getting set up. We're gonna go through our full inspection. So for my inspections, I have an inspection bag, and then I have my tool bags that I'll use, like if I'm having to do a repair or something like that. But I'm just gonna use my inspection bag. I got my tape. This is a shingle house, so I got my tape measure. I got some chalk in case there's potential storm damage, my shingle gauge, a flashlight for hail, things like that. Very basic. I'm also gonna carry my scope document, so we'll wanna have that. And then I wanna be kind of looking at the front of the property, like they got gutters here. I need to be aware of that, where my ladder placement's gonna go. They have a lower garage section over here we'll throw the ladder up on, but I want to be aware of all that stuff. When we start and you're starting your company cam, going into Matt's profile, once it loads, I'll want to go to my checklist and select the appropriate checklist. So we'll want to select the asphalt shingle, and then I'm going to start my ground inspection. So we'll go around the property. There's 3 different buildings on this property, so we have all the different checklists, and it's labeled next to the applicable position, whatever you are, construction manager, sales owner. So shingle roof inspection, let's do that. And then like your manager reviewed with you, you're gonna just start going through the checklist. If there's no photo, you cannot check an item off the list. So you have to get the photos in order to complete the item. So the first one's gonna be my ladder setup. When I'm getting up on the roof, I'll go through my ladder setup, and then we'll progress up the roof. But the first thing we're gonna wanna do is get some ground photos front. I wanna capture the entire front of the property so it's easily identifiable for your production team. So I'm making sure I capture if I can, the entire front of the house, but I wanna take my photos in sequence too. So when we're taking our photos, when it's front, it's front. Front left would be front left corner, front right would be front right corner. Front right, I'm at the front right corner of the property. I want to capture the front, capture the middle, capture the right. And then we're going to keep working around. And if I think that there's a potential for any storm-related damages, like I would be looking at the siding, things like that right now. On this one, we know they just purchased the property about 2 months ago, so it's not going to be, more than likely, it's not going to be storm damage. The roof is old. It's time for it to be done. So again, I'm capturing left, middle, right. And we're off to the next one. And we'll come down here to where we can kind of capture both those corners. You just got to paint the picture for your production team, deliveries, things like that, so we can see clearly what the property looks like. Something, this is the type of stuff we want to make sure we're documenting. So it wasn't your crew that did it, and because you're gonna have jobs come up in between, and you may kind of forget a little bit of exactly what you saw at the property. So documenting all this type of stuff makes it very easy when we go back weeks or months later to look at a job profile. We're gonna focus on this one for now, but I will need to get some ground photos and stuff of both of these. We'll jump up on those, but for the sake of this, we're just gonna focus on this roof. So again, just paint the picture really clear so your crew knows, so your production manager knows there's a pipe right there. We don't want to be backing over it, things like that. There's gutters here. Good, clean photos. Your production team is gonna love you for it, and they're gonna love working on your jobs if you can do a good job with your documenting for them. And for your estimator too, if you're not doing them, you have somebody helping you. And in this case, I want to get a good photo of the driveway, good photo of the drive up there, so you can see it's nice and open. So let's grab our ladder, and I think we'll put it up on the side over there. And the one thing I do encourage everybody to have, I understand you may not be able to purchase them right away, but having a set of cougar paws. We don't need them on this roof. The roof is low sloped enough, but if you get on a 612 plus and it's aged like this, it becomes very slick, and these cougar paws really help give you the traction to keep from slipping off the roof. Like I said, we don't need it on this one, but I always have them with me. I always have them ready to go. And typically when I'm setting up my ladder, if I can avoid putting it on a gutter, I'm gonna do that. Like this rake is not very tall right here, so this is easy for me to get on. If I do have to go up against a gutter, I'm making sure we're putting our gutter guard on there so your ladder's not denting it or scratching it, anything like that. Shows you know what you're doing, shows you care. On the roof now, so you're going through your checklist. There's a item for ladder setup, taking a photo of our ladder coming up. And then as we're coming up, typically if we're on an eve edge, you want to be looking at that gutter while you're there. It's a good time to look at it, good time to measure it. Get that tape out, boy. Measure that thing. I don't want to see no guesses on gutters. Like, does it have spikes? Does it have screws? What do we have to do there? Is it on the outside of the drip edge? Is it behind the drip edge? Is there drip edge? Is there fascia that needs to be replaced behind it? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump up on this next section here. I'm gonna get my overview photos and we'll continue through our checklist. So now that we're on up here on the main roof, and we know that that's a 3-tab, that's definitely getting replaced. But if I am dealing with an architectural shingle, we wanna make sure we're getting measurements on that shingle. So we want to hook it, you know, we find a joint, measure over, photo of it, and then we want to measure that exposure there. 5 inches. I'll get some photos. And then it's pretty straightforward up here. I mean, we got a skylight, so we'll document all this stuff on your scope document, but you need to take photos of it too. So that skylight, that turbine, any areas of concern. But this is overall like pretty straightforward. If we obviously got an AC unit up here and need to make sure we're documenting that. If you're seeing repair areas, storm damage, all those things need to be documented. You cannot take enough photos. A minimum of 100 photos a file is the standard on this stuff. They obviously here have like a 3-tab, a lower slope transition there. I'll address that with the homeowner once we look at it. I'm gonna wanna take put a pitch gauge on that and find out what that is. So we know if we need to be putting double underlayment or if we can install a shingle or if it needs to be a rolled roofing, all those things come into play. So if it's a 212 and less, we need to put a rolled roofing on there. If it's a 212 to a 412, double underlayment or a fully adhered underlayment. 412 and up, we can go with our single layer underlayment, synthetic like we normally do. Here, this chimney flashing, every re-roof we do, we're replacing chimney flashing. So we still want to document it. You're gonna want to grab a measurement of it so we know how much flashing needs to be ordered for the job. So I'm gonna want to measure length and width. Always take a picture of those measurements because it's the easiest way when you forget about it to go back and reference it. So we're gonna go to that one. Gutters, no gutters. We'll go for no gutters. Or we could go on that rake side too, but these gutters look pretty good. So we don't want to be dinging them up. They come out of your commission. So I'm looking at this flat roof. The homeowner wanted me to look at it. Where typically, especially patios, this is like a torch down roofing. You can see where it like bled out right here, and a lot of times that's when they're rolling it out and they're heating it up and they're pushing it down, it'll kind of spooge out on the edge there. And I'm just always a little bit like cautious, especially if I think that there's any leaks. I don't want to just go walking through here and step on like a rotted out spot and fall through it. I know like that from the bottom, I saw like this stuff in here was like kind of soft. Just to note, so when I go back and take my photos, I have those marks are in my photos. It helps reference that type of stuff. So I'm kind of getting my just like basic overview of the roof, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think that this is that bad. Homeowner wanted it looked at. This is not that old. Those gutters are not that old. This shingle right here, this is a Certainty painted desert. I like the color, don't like the manufacturer. Like you can see, they got new skylight, although they do have a tarp up here. The neighbor's dogs are definitely gonna bark at you, but this is a telltale sign of a certainteed roof. A certainteed roof, the ridge caps or the hips, they'll always have this, their shingles have that beveled edge on it. So that's like a surefire indicator of what type of roof it is. You know it's a certainteed. So the measurements on that are gonna be 38 3/4 and 5 5/8 inch exposure. Let's see if I'm right. 38 3/4, 5 5/8 inch exposure. Knowledge is power, boys. Okay, I think we're good up here, dude. We'll go to that one, yeah. Okay, so this is roof 3 of 3. This is the last one we're looking at, and we just got up on the roof again, another big flat section. So I'm kind of just, initially I get up on the roof, I'm getting a feel for it. I want to make sure the decking's good and everything. So the areas of concern typically on a flat roof are going to be the perimeters. So I usually like to check those out. Again, this gutter looks like it doesn't look terrible. It looks like it's a little bit newer. But again, we've got, this is just a torch down roofing. You see that where it's kind of bleeding out there, and what they do with the torch is there's a base sheet under here. That base sheet will be mechanically fastened. They use a metal cap nail, they nail that down, and then when they heat their cap up and glue it down, this sheet is gluing to that base sheet that's mechanically fastened. Where now we use like a peel and stick product that actually adheres to the deck, or your base sheet adheres to the deck, and then the cap sheet adheres to the base sheet. We don't do too many torch applications anymore. Obviously there's a fire risk there, but these, that's how they're adhered to the roof. So don't confuse this stuff for like a peel and stick cap sheet, because if it's a peel and stick cap sheet, you will not see this stuff on it, and it could be extremely difficult to tear that off. So you need to be aware of that. Let your homeowner know of it. If it is a cap sheet that, or a fully adhered cap sheet, like a peel and stick, there's a high likelihood that when we peel it up, it's gonna tear up a bunch of the plywood with it. So you need to pay attention to that. Or would you look at those things? Wow. Wow, these should be in a museum. But this is one of those things, like, you know, you can tell from the ground looking at this roof, like there's a lot of fiberglass coming out of it, like there's no color, the gray. I mean, these are so aged, they're not even like, the asphalt's just completely dried and all the moisture's sucked out of them. It'd be a good roof for a claim if there was damage on it. 35-foot 35-foot fat max. Is it gonna make it? Nope. So I will mark a reference point. I got 33-foot mark right there. And then it's easy for me just to hook and come back. 5 foot 6 inches. 33 plus 5 foot 6 inches. 38.6. Check my math. And then it's simple, so I don't need to measure my eaves on either side. That ridge is the same as that eave right there. It's a straight gable. So another nice use for chalk, especially on an asphalt roof. So we got 38.6 by 1910, you could call it 20. So we're gonna go to our calculator app. I'm gonna go, because this is not a construction calculator, I'm gonna have to use a decimal, so I'll just go 38. I'm gonna round that up to 20. So this slope right here is 770 square feet times 2. So what is that? Let's see if I got that. Times 2. What do you think? You think I'm right or you think I'm wrong?
Right.
Let's go. It's the little wins, you know? So I could do the same on this one. Let's see what it is real quick. So we're like 20 feet right there to that transition. I know I gotta come up a foot. And if you look right here, you see these two shingles are different. They did this is a good indicator that the patio was done at a previous, after these shingles were done, they had to use, this shingle is no longer available, you can't purchase it anymore, and it's old as shit. So they had to find a new shingle to put in this transition because this stuff will run up the slope like this. So I know my rolls are 36 inches wide. I can look and see that's about how far they came up this slope with this rolled roofing. So, you know, they had to replace those bottom two courses. Generally, you see that on a house. It's an indicator that the patio portion of the roof has been done more recently than the actual shingle portion. So I had 20 foot right here. I'm gonna give it another foot. So we'll call 21 foot there. And then we knew that that ridge was what, 38.6. So let's go look at what the difference is. Everything else is square on this roof except for this corner right here. So I could try to pull my tape and do that whole thing. It's up to you. I enjoy math. So 5'6". Okay, so we had 38.6. So that would be 39. The answer would be 44. So 44 by 21. And that is factoring our waste coming up this slope too. You always, whenever I'm hand measuring something, especially a patio, I always include that 1 foot because you never can trust the other guy to include it. So let's do 21 times 44. This is 925 square foot. Oh, your roll is only 33 foot wide, I believe. So you're not gonna be able to make a full run. That's why they have this funky pattern right here. See how they got this? See how they ran a roll like that? There's one on that side too, because they were trying to maximize their material. Manufacturer really doesn't like that, but it's all good. That's it. Take your time looking at the flat roofs, rotted decking. Like, you want to know what material we're pulling off of there. Be very clear, good photos. Get that to your estimator. Again, like so this property, if you turn around here and you look, they had this structure here and then the big structure down there. That roof right there is, I'm guessing, pushing 40 squares, somewhere in there. I'll pull a measurement. Plus this one, which we said it was what, 924, 1540. You're almost 25 squares. That one, that roof is good, but I'm just saying, I'm making the point, like, there's all these different structures, especially when you have other structures. 100 photos is probably not enough for a profile like this. You're probably gonna be pushing that like 150 to 200 marks. So just do a thorough job with it and make sure you have your inspection bag. I mean, you gotta look the part, gotta look the professional appearance. Let's go. That's pretty much the summary of the inspection checklist. Make sure you're completing it. Your manager can check that out. Go through all those items when you go, before you leave the property, check them off. Make sure they're completed. If you need to grab any more photos, jump back out, grab them, make sure you got them. Thanks, guys.